Welcome back to Open Line, everyone. We are talking about foreign policy. Great time to talk about foreign policy right after this summit between Vladimir Putin and President Biden. And we have with us Dr. Thomas Schwartz, Vanderbilt Political Science Professor. Several calls, so let's just keep going to the phones. Let's go to Betty. Hello, Betty?
Yes.
Go right ahead. What's on your mind?
I was wondering if in this summit with the leader of Russia, if Biden made any points in the foreign policy thing to get the two Americans released from over there.
Good. We have not talked about that. I appreciate that question. Go right ahead, Dr. Schwartz.
He did mention the case. From what has been reported, he mentioned it. He told Putin that he thought these were candidates for release because they had been unfairly convicted. Putin's response has not been clearly, at least I haven't seen exactly how he responded, but we know that they have defended the trial process in this. Putin mentioned it in the interview he did with NBC, that he thought that one of the Americans had gotten drunk and had really behaved badly and deserved his conviction. So I don't know. The net sum of it is that the U.S. made the case, and it's clear there was this argument about whether there might be a prisoner swap. The U.S. doesn't want to do that, but my own prediction will be that possibly when the dust settles, that you'll see some sort of an attempt to do a swap of some sort to get those two out.
Are you surprised there wasn't more of a, like you said, well, one of our last callers said there not much happened. You even said that at the top of the show, not much happened. Sometimes they have a meeting between two leaders and a lot's been agreed to beforehand, and then they come out and they all have great things to announce.
Right.
This would be the kind of thing that would be a great thing to announce, I guess. We're going to release, so-and-so. Are you surprised they can't make any headway there?
I do think it shows that this was not, as a summit, this was not something that was prepared long. I think Biden simply wanted to get this off the agenda. He wanted to meet with Putin, make it clear that he's not Donald Trump, take advantage of, there were these meetings with the allies were already scheduled. So the opportunity to go there to show the United States as the leader of the alliance, and then to go meet Putin and at least have this sort of theater and symbolism. But it is clear that there wasn't a lot of preparation for any type of major announcements of outside of the couple that did come, namely the ambassadors coming back and then the nuclear talks continuing.
Okay, very interesting. Let's go to Josh. Hello, Josh.
Yes.
Go right ahead.
Okay, yeah. First of all, I want to say that I thought that the G7 summit and the meeting with the Russian Vladimir Putin president, I thought they went very well. And I also wanted to say that the last administration, kind of operated like a reality TV show. And, they let out a lot of information, but I feel that that's not as productive when you're doing stuff behind the scenes and you got a lot of good people forward thinking, around you. Biden, he's old, but, that's who we got right now, and that's who we're going to have to deal with. But also, like I said, he's got a lot of forward-thinking people around him, so I think that's good for everyone's future. And his tax proposal, I personally agree with, because anybody making $400,000 a year, that they fall into that tax bracket, and it kind of increases as you go up. Well, what we've seen over the last 4 years is 8 years before that diminished. Now we're trying to come back to get where we were.
Okay.
At one point in time.
Well, Josh.
And, as far as, yes.
All right. Well, very good. So you thought the summit went well. Bottom line.
Yes, bottom line, and also, if I know it's a touchy subject, I realize how how y'all work, but the QAnon stuff that they had proven was created by an anti-government Filipino American. I've lost family and friends going down that rabbit hole that think the earth is flat, and they just start to distrust all government,
Right.
any science. And
You're talking about QAnon and the conspiracy theory. Have they come back?
I want to bring it up yet.
Well, are they? Are your family and friends, do they now see differently, or are they still?
I just feel like, they've been programmed, especially in the South, because I'm born and raised in Tennessee, especially in the South. People up north didn't like the former president because they know, he's had a lot of bad business dealings in the past. And the saying, growing up with a silver spoon in your mouth, he grew up with a gold spoon in his mouth.
All right, Josh, well, thank you. All right, I hate to cut you off, but thank you, Josh. And so he talks about all kinds of things. We've done a show on QAnon. I know I've talked to you about QAnon. That's not foreign policy. But I guess how do you address all the things he's saying there?
Well, I think his point about the G7 meeting and the degree of allied cooperation, that was, I think, one of the things Biden wanted out of this foreign trip. He wanted to show that the United States was back as a leader and accepted by the allies. He got a lot of very favorable comments from other allied leaders. Macron, basically of France, essentially saying, we're so glad that you're president, this sort of thing. And I think that type of thing was very important to Biden as a leader of the alliance. And to that extent, even though the summit with Putin really didn't have a great deal of substance to it, I think the idea of restoring this notion of the United States as part of the world and not solely America first, and irritating the allies and all the rest, that was a key goal that Biden was trying to achieve in the summit, in this trip in the summit, and I think he did achieve that. As far as some of he did get agreement. They did agree on the idea of an international minimum tax, which is something that Janet Yellen has talked about, so that this will be something that Biden brings back to Congress, tries to get adopted. And so I think in that sense, the idea of international cooperation, working with the allies, multilateral solutions instead of unilateral America approaches, that's part of what he was trying to restore here.
Josh, thank you. Thank you for that call. Very, very interesting stuff. All right, we're going to take a break. Come back. We may hit in our next break or in our next segment, like the Middle East, what's going on there. We won't have a ton of time, but we should address that. All right, we'll take a break. Be back right after this.